Hello YouTube, this is Ice9 posting another Madden Mobile video. And this video is basically a continuation of the last one. I realized there were a good many things that I left out, and I wanted to try to explain them. The best way to try to explain some of the things that came out last year around this time or after this time is to show you my legacy team. So here it is, last year. On this team, it was a 105 overall, 106 offense. So in case you were thinking that 100 was the limit, it is not. It can go higher. If you have players with individual stats or boosters that go up over 100, they're going to raise it over 100. So that's what we have here. So on this team, we see players from various programs that came out after the Super Bowl. And the first of these to talk about is Mobile Masters. I'm not sure if they're going to do the same thing this year. I assume they will. In some way, shape, or form, that the players will get better and better. But as an example, this was an early Mobile Master, Calvin Johnson. And all of these guys are 99s. They're all, just great players. And as you can see, 97 speed with his height, 99 catch. He was a great deep ball receiver. And I kept him for months and months. He was a great player. Now later on in the year, of course, they keep having to up the ante. So basically what EA did was started making these guys more and more overpowered. And basically we got to the point, here we go with 99 Larry Allen, and look at the stats: 100 impact block, 100 run block, 98 pass block, 101 strength. If you thought it couldn't go over 100 again, they made his strength. So totally overpowered. I actually pulled this guy from a pro pack, believe it or not, and at the time he was selling for about 7 million coins or so, 7 to 10 million coins, but I kept him. Final edition. This is well after the season was over. They came out with these guys. 99 Nick Mangold. He was one of the 3 best centers in the game at the end of the year, but that's just another program that's potentially coming out. Again, pulled from a pro pack. Positional heroes. If you're wondering why in the last video I had so many elites on my bench, this is why. And I'm not sure that positional heroes is going to work the same way as it did last year, but last year this is basically how it worked. After the season was over, in mid-February, I do believe, they came out with this where the top 2 players at each position, and then this is a full team, so you had 2 cornerbacks, 2 wide receivers, 2 linebackers, etc., 2 defensive tackles. So this was a great program because it was a way that you could get 99 players and not have to, deal with legend packs or any of that kind of stuff. But the requirements on this were also substantial. So here we have 99 Kyle Long, and to get this guy, you had to have 12 elites at the offensive guard position, 42 gold players at the offensive guard position, and silvers, I believe it was 6 silvers to unlock this guy. So 12 elites at the position. Now what this did, the first week it came out, elites, especially at offensive guard, which Josh Sitton, I think the first week was one of the players. I remember elites were going for, believe it or not, 300,000 coins, which is absolutely ridiculous. The market spiked. Nobody was prepared for it. And before you knew it, people were trying to make money each week off of this positional heroes. And what they would do is they would try to get the elites, of course, try to snipe them or just get them cheap and sell them for more. And that worked for a while, except everybody started doing the same thing, which is usually what happens, in these types of things. So it became very difficult to make money off it. But that's a way that people made money, and that's also a program where people got 99 players. There were some good ones. Des Bryant, 99 speed, 101 catch. Okay, now to give you an idea of one of the big differences between this year and last year is that there's a lot more boosts this year. Okay, so last year, this is our domination player, what we had instead of Gronk, +5 awareness. Not a bad boost at all. It's an awesome boost. Excuse me. Now we have OBJ, who has +5 awareness and +5 catch, to give you an idea. This year, many people probably know Barry Sanders, +2 agility, +2 awareness. Last year, this was his card. The speed was less. Strength was about the same. The carry was a little higher. The elusiveness was 90, which I don't know how you can have a Barry Sanders card with an elusiveness of 90. That's absolutely way too low, but in 98 trucking for whatever reason. I put him on my legacy team because he's my favorite player of all time, but you can kind of see this card's a lot worse than what they gave us this year for Barry Sanders. So kind of amazing. Alright, now you see a lot of mobile masters here. To give you an idea on this though, and what you can expect to see, when I was talking about cornerbacks in my last video, part of the problem is I'm used to seeing guys like this. 95 play recognition, 100 man coverage, 95 zone coverage, 99 speed, you know, and that's a tall guy. I mean, that's my cornerback that was running at the end of the year at the Night Train Lane. On the other side, this was a guy that all year was just super expensive. Still a legend player, one of the first 99 legends before they started doing mobile masters. And you could see, I mean, just insane stats on this guy. Insane stats. 97 play recognition, 99 zone. Hits like a ton of bricks. I mean, he's just a great player. There is going to be a replacement for domination. So last year, here's the domination, Richard Sherman. And this year, it's Gronk, as we know, with +5 strength. That program is going to be replaced by something called Gauntlet. Last year, the prize for Gauntlet was Cam Chancellor, and here he is. This is a guy who got dropped down to my dime. I really like him as a player. He's a big safety. He should be the best way to fight a Gronk or a big tight end or something like that, because a lot of the safeties are just too small to deal with it. You can see in some of my videos where Gronk is pulling down balls in crowds of 5 people. It's absolutely ridiculous. You know, a good version of this guy is probably the only thing that could fight against that, I think. However, EA has always nerfed the card. They've always given him low play recognition, and it really does affect the way they plays. That said, +1 speed was good enough to make the dime for my team last year, 100 hit power. But I expect this year they're going to have something like this. I would say it's probably going to be a defensive player, as obviously Gronk was an offensive player, OBJ was an offensive player. You know, all the tier 7 players were offensive or special team. It's about time that they do a defensive player. So Gauntlet, I would expect this year to be a defensive player, but it's EA. Who the heck knows? More positional heroes and a lot of mobile masters on this team. Derrick Brooks. Here's the version this year, or last year I should say. The version this year is not actually too bad, and with all the strength boosters and whatnot, I mean, there's actually some improvements over this card. About 100 tackle, 88 man coverage, 97 zone coverage. This is not a safety, this is not a corner, this is a linebacker. So you can see some of the absolutely ridiculous stats on some of these cards. Other positional heroes. Here's another 99. He still made the team. great coverage stats. Jamie Collins, pretty good speed, good hit power, etc. So, I mean, it's just to give you an idea of some of the players that came out. Oh, here's an interesting one. So this was part of the Easter program, and Rod Woodson card. And once I picked it up, I mean, he actually did make plays on Gronk, even though he's a smaller guy. Just great coverage stats, great speed, etc. He actually did make a lot of plays. This is typically a guy you would play at free safety, Rod Woodson, but instead I flipped him and Ronnie Lott and put him at strong safety purely because he was making plays there. So 99 zone coverage, 97 man coverage, and this is a safety, not a corner. So just absolutely ridiculous stats. So, I mean, that's some of the programs that are going to be coming out. Positional heroes, I will show you. So last year, this was boosted. Percy Harvin, he was the best kick returner in the game, 98. So Devin Hester with the Tier 7 rewards was the first 99 kick returner I saw. Positional heroes, they did a kicker and a punter all in one pack. And this required less because there's less elite kickers and punters out there. So the sets weren't as demanding. I forget what they were. I want to say it was like 4 punters and 4 kickers a piece to unlock both of them, and then a bunch of gold. So it was still expensive to do, but if you want to get the overall up there, that's what you got to do, I guess. Okay, so now we're going to go, and people probably wondering in the video yesterday, what is he doing with all these elites? And what I'm doing with all these elites right now is because of positional heroes that I mentioned. However, I have this feeling that the program's not going to be working the same way, that it's going to be some kind of achievement-based play, you know, events type of program rather than just based on the players like it is here. But, you know, I'm hedging my bets a little bit on that. I'll always be prepared for that, for doing events, but I'm going to have some elites and positions that I want to upgrade if Positional Heroes comes out in somewhat of the same way as last year. So that's why all the elites. In addition, you'll see all the domination cards down here. I am keeping them and not just quick selling them off, the duplicates, just because, oh, look at this. Sorry, they're Packers fans. Oh, it's not matured yet, but tomorrow that should be up. But with all these domination cards, they had a part of Gauntlet last year where you could use 2 domination cards to get 1 Gauntlet card. So essentially, if you keep all your old domination cards, there's a good chance of that paying off. So I've done that. I've got 90-something of them. I'm also keeping some of these. You know, I think the Superlatives program was absolutely, I don't know, ridiculous as a program. I mean, the players weren't that great. I don't know. It was just something to do for them, I guess. But I heard the collectibles might be usable in some kind of future program. So I'm going to keep them. All right. Free agent programs. What I have noticed with that, with the changes they made when they've gone to the free agent and the game changer and the veteran collectibles, is drop rates have gone way down on these players in the events, almost making them not worthwhile. They really are not very worthwhile anymore. I mean, the players aren't going for what they should. A lot of people have moved on from using these free agents and the veterans. Not too many of them are great players. So there's not, I mean, you just play it because you have to have something to do with your stamina, I guess, but they're not phenomenal. Not phenomenal at all. To give you an idea too, they did have the flashback players were an event-based player last year. You could play events and get these guys, rather than what it is now, which is like 17 elites and gold trophies and things like that. You could actually play events to get them. So that is one thing that they've changed. I expect as the year goes on, they might possibly bring up flashback events back just to keep things going. After this season is over, there's a possibility that, a lot of people are going to stop playing as much because, football season's over. They're playing while football season's on. So I could see EA bringing this back out as a way to keep people playing. All right, Leagues Masters and Season Masters and all these extras here. I'm holding on for the same reason that I'm holding on to the Domination collectibles, just in case they could be useful. I could always quick sell them. They bring 500 coins, I do believe. Yeah, they do. So pretty nice, but I'm just holding on to them for the time being in case we need them. Okay, Team of the Week. I've got extra collectibles. One thing I will say, if you don't have the 18 collectibles to get the player collectible, wow, that'll quick sell for only 100 coins. Better not do that. These are available if you play the Team of the Week hero events, and that's how I got these extras. So just be aware that it's something that you could get. I think they're going to give you enough opportunities to pull the collectibles necessary to get the Team of the Year player collectible. So a couple Legend collectibles in there, player collectibles. That program has been totally useless. I'm actually, with how Legends work this year, I'm kind of confused on what EA is trying to do. You would think they would make Legends the best players out there, but they have not. They really haven't. There's flashbacks that are better. All the Legends, whether you're talking about Lawrence Taylor or you're talking about Charles Woodson, there's all serious deficiencies in the stats of these players that just leave you asking why. Why would EA expect people to spend money on it? But they do for the names. People spend money on it. I mean, I bought Charles Woodson, but they handicap these players. It just doesn't make any sense. Okay, so Road to the Ring. One thing I did want to correct, I made a mistake in my last video. Road to the Ring did not exist last year. Okay, Road to the Playoffs did. And what I was talking about is Road to the Playoffs was last year. You had to pull these players from packs, and you had to have specific players, golds and elites, to finish off the players. So what that do was that spiked the market on those individual players. If you wanted to do those sets, you had some gold players, rare gold players, going for upwards of 200,000 coins at certain points because of that. So that you can kind of see what EA has done. This year, they've changed that. They've decided, we're not going to let people corner the market on that. However, one thing that EA has done as well is there's 3 auction houses this year. I'm not sure if you guys are aware of this, but 3 auction houses has really changed the way the economy works. It's much easier for an individual to corner the market on a rare card. I mean, you could see that with the Sue card that I was talking about in my last video. 1.5 million coins. At a certain point, this player was going for 600,000-700,000 coins, but somebody buys them all up, resells them for a lot more, and is able to do that because there are now 3 different auctions. So there's a lot less competition and undercutting, so that's why you get that to happen. So, okay, well, that's my bench. That's pretty much everything. Holding on to elites. They're not going for much, so I'm just holding on to them. Silvers are actually kind of a rare commodity right now with the Superlatives program, where you could get a collectible every hour, so it's been hard to hold on to those. But that is basically it. I just wanted to cover a few more things that are going to be happening later on in the year, and just wanted to give more of a complete explanation of that. So I appreciate you guys watching. I know it was another long video, and any questions, need anything, want to see anything, let me know. Thanks for watching.